good. Put your arms around each other, whatever you want to do. All right, guys, on three. I see you. Ready? 1, 2. One more time.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 116th Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce Annual Dinner. What a great turnout we have tonight with a full capacity crowd of just over 800 people. For your continued support of this event and the Chamber, we thank each and every one of you. You know, the program this evening will focus on recognizing individuals and businesses that have and continue to make a difference in our local economy and community. It's the individuals that support community initiatives and organizations that aim to make Wooster better tomorrow than it was today. And it's the businesses that drive our economy, employ our neighbors, and contribute to causes that separate Wooster from communities of similar demographics. Now in my 4th year as a chamber representative, I am consistently reminded by my colleagues of how unique our community and our organization is. For instance, the Wooster Chamber has the largest membership in the state of Ohio for its service area and holds one of, if not the largest annual dinner meeting amongst any chamber in the state of Ohio. Well, we'll take it. These facts are not to boast, but rather to highlight that our community is fortunate to have a unique blend of individuals and businesses that are making a difference in every aspect that makes up our community. And that's what this evening is about. It's to recognize those who are proactively shaping Wooster into the dynamic community that it is today. So on behalf of the Wooster Chamber staff and its board of directors, we would again like to thank you for all of your support over last year and your presence here this evening. This time, please join me in recognizing the following members for sponsoring tonight's event. Without their support, this celebration would not be possible.
Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce, 2016 Platinum Sponsor, PNC Bank. Silver Sponsors, CNC Video Productions, Meaden and Moore, Wooster Community Hospital. Bronze Sponsors, BCI, Buckeye Division, Cleveland Clinic, the College of Wooster, Consumers National Bank, DNS Distribution Incorporated, First Merit Bank, Greenbriar Conference and Party Center, Metals USA, Seaman Corporation, Springer Healthcare Systems, Wayne Savings Community Bank, Western Reserve Group, Whitaker Myers Insurance Group, Wooster Glass Company Incorporated, Wooster Hydrostatics.
Let's give them a round of applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kevin Hewitt. He is the Executive Director of the Christian Children's Home of Ohio. He will be giving tonight's invocation.
Good evening, and congratulations to our esteemed honorees, and what a privilege it is to be here. Let's start with a word of prayer. Dear God, we are grateful as we come before you tonight. We're grateful for the opportunity to serve We're grateful for family and friends, grateful for the opportunity to utilize the gifts and talents you've given us to better others. Lord, we're grateful for our honorees, grateful for the Chamber of Commerce. Lord, we are grateful for the food that we are about to eat. Lord, may our lives reflect an attitude of gratitude. Lord, we come before you and ask that you would bless this time together. Bless this food to our bodies to your service, and may you be glorified in everything we say and do. In your name we pray. Amen.
As I look back at 2015, I reflect on a strong year for both our organization and the community. From your chamber's perspective, the participation in our professional networking events and programs was extremely strong. Our community events, once again, were a huge success. We were leaders in engaging our local, state, and federal elected officials. And some of our newer programs, such as Manufacturing Day, the Wayne Economic Forum, and Shop Small, grew leaps and bounds this year. Locally, our community showed positive signs of economic growth, with our unemployment rate dropping to a staggering 3.5%. Our local sales tax receipts grew this year more than $1.1 million in comparison to 2014. Exciting new retail operations were opened throughout our commercial districts and in our beautiful downtown. Residential housing starts were at a 10-year high. Our locally owned and operated Wooster Community Hospital announced a significant expansion to their campus. And our industrial base grew exponentially, from existing companies like Luke and Artiflex to our newest corporate citizens in Daisy Brand and Gojo. And while all of these examples are positives for the Wooster area, they can also bring with them unique challenges and opportunities that the Chamber and its closest partners are already beginning to discuss. Be it the pressing need for qualified workers by various industry sectors, to the lack of available commercial property for future development, or the dwindling number of ready-to-occupy housing units. Most positives invoke a unique opportunity or challenge that our community must collectively work to address. And that's where the work of your chamber comes in to benefit its membership and our citizens. From leading various results-based workforce development initiatives such as Manufacturing Day and the Young Professionals, to identifying future commercial property and reputable developers, or working with local government on strategic plans that will guide future progress. Your chamber, through its leadership, has been leading the charge in the last year and will continue to do that in 2016. You know, much of my confidence of our future success is the ability of our organization comes from the leadership that we have in our board of directors. This diverse group of professionals understands the dynamics and the intricacies of the Wooster community, which brings immediate value and validity to our organization. Now, please direct your attention to the screen for the introduction of our 2016 Board of Directors.
Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce, 2016 Board of Directors. Leslie Mast, Ray & Associates. Mark Morrison, Morrison Custom Welding. Dr. John Cook, Long Cook and Sampson. Paul Williams, Wooster Motorways. James Smale, Monitor Bank. Michael Carroll, Luke, USA. Rod Kreider, Wayne Economic Development Council. Kevin Day, Western Reserve Group. Brett Deffenbaugh, Bowman Beverage. Bobby Douglas, Every Woman's House. Ryan Gilbert, PNC Bank. Bruce Hendrick, RBB Systems. Sandra Hall, Main Street, Worcester. Louise Keating, Keating Law Offices. Phil Mariola, City Square Steakhouse. Susan Marler, Meaden and Moore. Jackie Middleton, the College of Worcester. Jack Nebeski, BCI, Buckeye Division. Dan Shanahan, Mueller's Fresh Foods. Bill Sharon, Worcester Community Hospital. Martha Starkey, Wayne County Convention and Visitors Bureau. Tim Swift, Worcester Brush Company. Dr. Anthony Tizano, Cleveland Clinic, Wooster. Tom White, Rural King.
Let's give them a round of applause. From that lineup, I think it's easy for you to see how fortunate myself, our staff, and the fellow boards working together, how fortunate we are to have such a wealth of experience and available to us on a daily basis. So we appreciate every board member for their time and commitment to the Chamber. Speaking of our board, at this time I'd like to recognize our outgoing chair of the board for 2015, Mrs. Leslie Mast. Leslie, your professional guidance over the past 7 years on the board and this year as our chair has not only brought a significant amount of value to me and our staff, but it has brought value to our organization that will be realized for many years to come. This time, I would like to welcome your 2015 Chair of the Board, Mrs. Leslie Mast, and Thomas Queen, representing Congressman Renacy's office, to the stage for a brief presentation.
On behalf of Congressman Renacy, it is my privilege to give to Mrs. Leslie Mast a beautiful flag, American flag that is flown over the Capitol of the United States of America. It's being presented in this outstanding box made by Bogner Construction. On behalf of the Congressman and the citizens of this district, congratulations.
Thank you, Justin, for the wonderful introduction, and Mr. Queen for the American flag. Please share my gratitude with Mr. Renacy. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as chair of the board for 2015. It truly has been a privilege and an honor. Last year, when I stood on this stage for the first time, I talked about what I was going to do as the incoming chair. I mentioned I was going to run the monthly meetings and get my picture in the paper more often. I would be supportive of our events and would lead Justin and our board of directors. And sure, I led the meetings, actually a lot of meetings, and I was supportive of our events. And no, I didn't get my picture in the paper more, but that's okay. As one of the youngest people and one of a handful of women to serve in this role, I feel I have a lot to be proud of for what we accomplished this year. The bulk of the work we did, however, will go unnoticed by almost all of you in the room tonight. During 2015, we updated nearly every internal procedure and process we had in place. These improvements are what will help make our chamber a stronger chamber for the future as we turn our focus again to our membership in 2016. I'm confident that the foundational work we completed this year will serve the organization for years to come. A big thank you goes out to the board of directors for helping to make this happen. One of my favorite quotes is something said by Steve Jobs. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. Reflecting on this quote, I realized that Mr. Jobs was absolutely right. When you take on a leadership role, you don't know how all the dots will connect together. You only trust that somehow they will. I liken that to how we choose the incoming chairs for the board. Normally, that person has some leadership qualities that make it appealing for him or her to lead the organization. As I think about our previous chair men and women, I feel each of them was in the seat at the right moment. We certainly don't plan it that way, but that's how it ends up. Each person's strengths are needed by the organization when it is his or her turn. My strengths play to the backbones of an organization, and that was certainly the focus of this past year. This year's incoming chair is no different. Mark's passion for the membership is evident in his actions. I believe now that we have our business basics back in place, Mark will be able to lead our organization forward and will have a tremendous impact on you, the members. So before I hand the keys to the organization over to Mark, I have some appreciations to deliver. Thank you to the Chamber staff, Justin, Samira, Angela, Alyssa, and our interns, Jamie, Ruben, and Will, for another year of exceptional service to the organization. Thank you to our board of directors for their insight, contributions, and leadership. It amazes me what a group of focused leaders can accomplish. I appreciate the resources you have sacrificed to spend time with the Chamber to help make it the best organization it can be. Thank you to my team at Ray & Associates for supporting me during this year of service. And thank you to my husband, Jason, and our children, Alina and Zachary, for all you do on a daily basis to support me. And now, Mark, I wish you the best of luck as you step into this new role. The only advice I can give you is to hang on as the year goes by quickly. I will be there to help guide you as best I can. Well, except for tonight, because you're on your own after this. At this time, it is my pleasure to officially introduce the new chair of the board for the Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Mark Morrison.
Thank you, Leslie. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending this evening to support the individuals and businesses that make such a positive difference in the Wooster area. As I started to prepare for my time as chairman, I thought it would be wise if I reach out to some past chamber leaders to get their advice as to what my responsibilities and duties would be, along with what I should expect from Justin, our president. I personally want to make sure that I live up to the expectations of this leadership role, and I certainly want to make sure Justin is performing to his potential. So as I engaged with the past leadership, the responses I received differed. It became clear to me that it came down to their individual management and leadership styles. So this made me wonder, what will my involvement be? How engaged will I have to be in the day-to-day operations of the chamber? Or do I simply allow Justin to run the show? Well, maybe I'm overthinking this. Better yet, I'll let you be the judge. Please watch this short video clip that was recently revealed to me.
Be right there.
Uh-oh, Morrison's here. Hey, Mark.
Bill, how are
Hey,
you?
good morning.
Yeah, good
Welcome to
morning.
the hospital. Come to watch the water tower project?
Hey, Mark, how are you?
All right, how are you?
Hey, Morrison.
Hey.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Nice
I was
to
wondering if
see
you
you.
had time to maybe talk about some leaf removal.
Absolutely. Come on in.
Pretty good, thank you.
Hey, Mark.
Morrison.
Hey, Justin.
Mark, how are you?
I'm doing good, how are you?
Good. A lot of work going on.
It's been a long day. Let's have a drink. Chug that.
No, you chug that. I'm not chugging that.
Come on. You can do it. I know you can.
Oh, Greg, you should chug that.
I think this is yours.
All right. Bottoms up.
Morrison.
Morrison's here? So, guys, I pulled some numbers down at the office, and in here.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
Hey, Justin.
Mark, how are you?
Okay, how are you? Good.
Good. So, pulled a housing inventory stuff.
What have I got myself into? Well, it appears Justin has plenty of help, or should I say plenty of help covering for him. Justin, we're going to have a little talk after this event. But seriously, folks, all kidding aside, I'm fortunate to have the chance to work with Justin and the rest of the great staff at the Chamber. Justin, thanks for being a good sport. He has done a great job at the Chamber over these past 3 years. And isn't it great to see how well our Chamber works with the various organizations in this community? I really do expect my term to be productive and gratifying. I'd like to extend my appreciation to Leslie, my fellow board members, and our staff for the internal infrastructure work that has taken place over this past year. These efforts have paved the way for me to focus on our membership services and engagement. This year, we intend on defining and strengthening our services by making sure our daily focus and efforts is on our members and how we can serve them better. Our members are the core of this organization. This year, our focus will be on you, our members and community partners. I truly feel that this time next year, you will see a difference in the focus of our operation. I would be remiss if I did not mention one last thing. I'd like to thank my family, my friends, and my fellow colleagues for their support and kindness. This thank you is from a husband and a father, a friend, and a small business owner who wears far too many hats already, and now has decided to wear one more hat. I thank you. In closing, I appreciate the opportunity to serve as chairman. I look forward to what this year will bring. Thank you for attending, and please enjoy the rest of your evening.
Security, what in the? Got some hecklers over there. Well, welcome aboard, Mark. You got the speech out of the way, buddy, so nicely done. The staff and I know our fellow board of directors really respect you, and we look forward to working with you in 2016, Mark. You know what, it's now time for us to begin our awards presentation by welcoming Sarah Patton. She is the Executive Director with Wayne County Community Foundation. If she could make her way to the stage, she's going to make the presentation of the Worthy Works Award this evening. So.
The Worthy Works Award recognizes not-for-profit members of the Chamber whose work positively affects the strength, vitality, and quality of life of our community. This evening, it's a pleasure to honor Habitat for Humanity in Wayne County, an affiliate of Habitat for Humanity International, which was founded in 1976 in Georgia, and which now operates in some 1,500 American cities and 75 countries worldwide. In Wayne County, some 74 homes have been built by volunteers and the prospective homeowners working together, and 2 more are under construction. Habitat can be a life-changing resource for anyone who has a stable family unit, a regular monthly income, and who has lived in Wayne County for at least 6 months. Families with good credit histories who live in substandard, overcrowded, or inadequate housing are ideal partners. Each adult member of a partner family, working with volunteers, provides a minimum of 300 hours of sweat equity in their new home. In addition, they successfully complete classroom requirements and financial counseling. In this way, Wayne County Habitat makes sure that the families are prepared to handle the expense and responsibility of home ownership. And now we'll have a video about Habitat.
The Worthy Works Award, Habitat for Humanity. Established in Wayne County in 1986, the community was inspired by a visit from the organization's founder, Millard Fuller.
He came to visit Wayne County, and a handful of people from First Presbyterian Church were very interested in Habitat for Humanity, and they went to hear him speak. And it was there that the roots of Habitat started, and it's kind of interesting to know that we're the 4th affiliate in the state of Ohio that now has 68 affiliates.
And during the past 3 decades, volunteers have constructed 76 houses in the area while contributing to many more worldwide through a partnership with Habitat for Humanity in Romania.
So as we receive our donations in, we tithe 10% of those and give them to the country of Romania. So besides the 76 houses we have built in Wayne County, we've been able to fund 130 houses worldwide. For the first 10 years of our existence, volunteers have kept this affiliate going. They got us off the ground, and they gave their heart and soul to the Ministry of Habitat. After 10 years, we were blessed enough to be able to hire staff and to help run Habitat, but we could never do without our volunteers.
Building not only individual houses, but also lifting up families and strengthening communities, Habitat for Humanity has seen some significant changes in Wooster in recent years, including the relocation of its restore from Spruce Street to East Lincoln Way. But many challenges still lie ahead.
We're proud of the fact that we've changed through the years and grown, and the vision has grown to bigger things, but the economy has changed, and the way we have been able to help our families the amount of money that we have to offset between the price of the house that we sell at zero interest and what the building has cost us is kind of a larger amount. So fundraising is always a big thing with us, and trying to get the funds and trying to figure out how to keep the price for what we sell the house and what we build it for, keep that gap closer together.
The Christian-based organization focuses on ensuring dignity for individuals while attempting to revitalize neighborhoods.
We realize that we're trying to build communities and not just one house here and one house there. So building a community is important to Wayne County, and so we've been trying to focus on rehabbing some houses. We've done a demolition in Orville.
In addition to its noble efforts to provide affordable housing, Habitat's Restore repurposes items that might have otherwise been disposed of in a landfill.
We're sitting in the Restore right now, and in the Restore it's about repurposing things and bringing things back to life that maybe didn't have a life or that would go into the dumpster.
The relationship between Habitat for Humanity and Wayne County residents is a blessing of the highest order.
We're a Christian organization, and we believe that God has blessed people with dignity, and we would like to bring dignity back to where it sometimes is lacking.
Congratulations to Habitat for Humanity as the recipient of the Worthy Works Award. Accepting the award for Habitat is Executive Director Beth Weaver.
On behalf of the Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce and the Board of Trustees of the Wayne County Community Foundation, it's my privilege to present the 2014 Worthy Works Award to the Wayne County Habitat for Humanity with a plaque and a check for $1,000 to assist them in continuing their important work. Beth, congratulations.
Leadership Wooster Distinguished Alumni Award, John Crum. After growing up on a farm and watching his father work for years in a steel mill, and realizing that he was not able to put him or any of his siblings through college, John decided to create a job of his own.
It was 1980, and Jimmy Carter years, high interest rates, high unemployment. And so I realized I needed to create my own job and started my own business, raising cattle and hogs. I borrowed the money from a local bank.
Before he did that, however, his father advised him to create a business plan, and John was able to convince the local bank that he could make a profit.
So I went into the bank and I asked for the bank president. I told him my plan, and to my surprise he got up and he said, "John, I'll be back." He came back 10 minutes later, had a checkbook, put it on the table. He said, "John, there's $4,000 in there to start your business." So I said, "Well, what about collateral?" And he looked at me and said, "We don't need any collateral." He said, "If you don't pay that loan back," he said, "you got more problems with your father than you have with this bank."
John decided to further his education at Ohio University, where he majored in industrial engineering and accounting.
I think you're kind of born with leadership skills at times. And I noticed each time we were given a group project, we'd be working around the table and they'd ask, "Well, who wants to lead this project?" And I'd say, "Well, I'll take that," knowing that I had more influence on the outcome if I was the leader.
As a manager, John set a high standard and created a sense of urgency.
You know, I think that's been my career, is I've always worked with people. I'm a people person. I like to be with people. Yeah, but I also like to make sure that we're continuously improving, you know, we're getting better, and that, you know, 5 years from now we'll be more competitive than we are today.
Despite his demanding schedule at Seaman, John has made time to be out and about in the community, contributing his time and talents, particularly his leadership skills, to a variety of causes, including service to the Wayne Economic Development Council and the Ohio University Engineering Advisory Board, as well as St. Mary's expansion to 8 grades, and increasing opportunities for young people to participate in 4-H.
So one of my passions has always been 4-H. I mean, as a kid, I participated in 4-H. You know, there was families that didn't have that opportunity because they lived in town, and they really wanted a place to have a project. So, you know, I've always offered my farm or my barn for kids that live in town that want to take an animal to the fair.
John's community involvement also included service on the board of United Way and the Salvation Army, all stemming from his involvement in Leadership Wooster.
A lot of people just don't know what the opportunities are. They don't know what to volunteer for. And when they go through this program, they actually can see the needs in many different committees. And as they walk away, a lot of times they'll come back and say, you know, I do have a skill, and that's an area I can help in the community.
Congratulations to John Crum, recipient of the Leadership Wooster Distinguished Alumni Award. The Board of Directors Award, the Commercial and Savings Bank. The Commercial and Savings Bank has a storied history and a dynamic role in the financial strength, stability, and prosperity of Wayne and Holmes County and surrounding areas.
CSB received its charter in 1879 in Millersburg and has been there ever since. But we grew over the years. In the 1990s, we found that we had more interest up in Wayne County, and by 1998 we'd opened a branch in Shreve.
And today there are 5 locations with 41 employees and more than 5,000 customers in Wayne County alone.
Wayne County is a thriving micropolitan and rural area. That kind of hits the sweet spot of our target, wanting to serve small towns with small and medium-sized business, employing people who enjoy being part of community.
CSB's core values are embraced by its employees with the principal goal of doing what is best for the community and its stakeholders.
When someone joins the CSB team, from the very first day of onboarding, we review our vision, we share our mission and our core values with that new team member. Core values are very important to moving an organization forward. They help define not only who you are, but how you want to do business. We stress doing the right thing in the right way at the right time.
The process begins by listening to a customer's story and then inviting them to articulate their needs.
Sometimes the customer wants the money for a certain purpose but has trouble articulating how they're going to be able to use that in the community. So we talk with them. It's a relationship. And as we grow to understand their goals, we can usually best meet their need.
An honorable approach to doing business and a vibrant workforce set Commercial and Savings Bank apart.
Community banks provide the funding that's needed in a local community for a healthy economic system. And by having this vision of enduring greatness, it reminds all of us that we want to be here from one generation to the next, time far beyond present leadership, moving to where, for the good of the community, we're a reliable source of funding going forward for many, many decades to come.
The Commercial and Savings Bank is dedicated to being an active and viable part of the community.
CSB is very proud to be able to be a part of the Wayne County community. Our board of directors have made a lot of our growth possible, but I want to especially say I'm very, very proud of the CSB team members that serve the greater Wooster, Shreve, Orrville areas and the way they represent our company in the community.
Congratulations to the Commercial and Savings Bank, this year's recipient of the Board of Directors Award. Coachie House, Small Business of the Year, fewer than 15 employees.
See, pizza came west in the 50s, I think. And most people in Worcester didn't know what pizza was.
My earliest memories are we lived upstairs for a short time. Grandma put an apartment upstairs when she turned her downstairs into a restaurant. And I remember coming down, and they'd be in the kitchen and making the dough and everything, and she'd bounce us on her lap. And
it's I still have that memory of the house and the garden in the back and all that, even though we're here. And you know, I think about how it's changed so much, but also stayed the same. My grandmother's mother was born in Italy and brought my grandmother, who was also born there but came over as a child. But they were, once they set their mind to something, that was it. They were going to go full tilt, and that's the way they were.
I think the first day's sale was about $1 or so. I don't know, something like that. People come in here then later that never tasted pizza in their life. But it kind of caught on.
Really, the way things worked and the way they looked, it didn't really change much because Dad and Mom were already here doing what they were doing. So it was kind of a seamless thing there. I guess having to decide, you know, behind the scenes and what to do and probably you're gonna be doing the rest of your life, that would have been a tough thing. But on the outside looking in, it never really changed, you know what I mean? You know, Dad said, what else was I gonna do? I was already here, but really, the dream of owning something, it was much, much harder to attain then, I think, than it is now.
You get to meet a lot of people that you wouldn't know normally. And I kind of like that. You could talk to people. And of course now today I don't remember all their names.
Working at night and seeing people come in, and I get to hear how beloved we've become to a lot of people, and how much they miss if they're away, how much they miss us, and say, oh, we just drove back into town from vacation, you're the first stop we made. You know, it's like they don't go home, they come here first and then go home.
We're going to keep doing the same thing. You know, we keep trying to keep the menu fresh and the building nice, and the spirit the same as my grandmother and my mother and my dad, you know, put out there, and hope people keep coming back and feel comfortable about sitting down just like you're eating with family, and that's what we're going to continue to
do. Congratulations to Kochi House for its selection as the Small Business of the Year, fewer than 15 employees. Small Business of the Year Award, more than 15 employees, Weaver Custom Homes.
Ben and Ada Weaver started building homes in the 60s and then incorporated Weaver Custom Homes in 79. So Weaver's has been around for about 30, 40 plus years. We look at every house, doesn't matter if it's a $200,000 house or $2 million house. Each one of our team members looks at that project like it was their own house, and basically treating the people like we want to be treated if it was our home. And I sat down with Ada May a few years ago and just picked her brain on what their goals were when they started the company, and they wanted to build a quality product for people and doing it with honesty, integrity. She overemphasized the honesty and integrity part numerous times. So that's just a tradition and values that we've been trying to carry on as the traditions that Ben and Ada started on years ago, just to keep that for our customers. The design center here in downtown now is the best design center that we've had, and incorporating a lot of elements in it that we can not just show them pictures of different details, but a lot of different, trim sizes, styles, plumbing, whatever the pieces and parts might be that they can walk in and actually go touch and feel it. And that's going to be invaluable and a lot better service that we can offer our customers. And we still have all the photography that we can use, but be able to have them see and feel some of more of those things will be invaluable. In 2009, we ventured into the Columbus market for the 2010 Parade of Homes, and we've been building in Columbus since then. And so that has taken us from there to St. Clairsville. So we're going from St. Clairsville, Columbus, into downtown Cleveland, Lakewood, up in Lake Erie, so kind of the Northeast Ohio, central and Northeast Ohio. Pretty much a 2-hour radius from Wooster, depending on the size of the project. We have found that most of the people in the Columbus area actually enjoy driving to Wooster because a lot of them know about, you know, the rich things around Wooster, and people actually enjoy driving to Wooster to meet at the design center. And now with the new design center, that should be even more so with the things that they can see and feel here. You know, we like to build relationships, not just homes, for our clients and for our employees. I mean, our employees help make Weaver Custom Homes. Without the employees, you know, we wouldn't be successful. So treating each other like we want to be treated with employees and with our clients, and valuing that relationship and caring about their product. The same goals and values I think that Ben and Ada had when they started is what we want to continue, of treating people that way. And then going back over the years of, you know, it's hard to stay in contact with all of them, but, you know, just you see them and we invite them to different events and stuff like that. And most of our customers like to come back and see, you know, the next year at our parade house or whatever it might be. So that interaction, building that relationship, we value that and want to strive to continue to do that.
Congratulations to Weaver Custom Homes for its selection as the Small Business of the Year. More than 15 employees. The Mike Lezak Award for Volunteer Service. Trent Mullet. The importance of hard work and the value of community service are implicitly clear to Trent Mullet and have been for as long as he can remember.
Lived on across from a big farm. So of course myself and my 2 brothers and my sister, I think all of us spent a lot of time on the farm helping, you know, do chores and all that good stuff. So.
Growing up in Fredericksburg and working on a dairy farm, Trent has long understood that nothing worthwhile is accomplished without a determined effort.
You know, I'd have to get up early, do chores, you know, get up at 5:30 in the morning, do chores, go to school, and then come home from school and do chores until it was dark.
After graduating from Waynedale High School, Trent visited a Marine Corps recruiting station with a friend and wound up enlisting.
I actually had a buddy who was signing up to go into the Marine Corps, and he asked me to drive him to the recruiting station. And, you know, I'm thinking to myself the whole way there, you know, this guy's not going to talk me into anything. And sure enough, we get there and he gets my buddy all signed up, and 5 minutes later, he's talking to me about all the opportunities and serving your country and the schooling and things you can get, you know, while in the military. So next thing you know, I'm signing up for electronics classes, and, you know, a couple months later, I'm being shipped out to Parris Island. So.
Following his tour of duty, Trent returned home and accepted an offer from Metro Media Technologies. During the ensuing 25 years, Trent's work ethic, as well as his commitment to service, have had a significant impact on the company and the community.
A lot of the first 15, 20 years, you know, nobody even knew where Metro Media was. I think we were known as the company across from Siemens Corporation. So that was one of my goals, especially over the last, you know, 10 years, was to get our name out into the community, be involved, be a part of the chamber. The activity that's nearest to my heart is the Field of Dreams. I mean, just to go out there and not only to be on the committee and help set this event up, but actually be a participant. And I actually go out there and I do play on the field and play softball with the Special Olympians. I mean, it's just it's an awesome event. I mean, I can't say enough about it. I mean, these players go out there and they play our heart out for 2 hours on the field, and to them it's like the World Series. What we've done is just tried to pick like 2 of our favorite events. One of them being the Field of Dreams and the second one being the Wooster Fest.
Trent also enjoys giving back to the community by volunteering as a coach for various youth teams, and has the privilege of coaching his son on those teams as well.
My daughter's 19. She's currently living in California, hopefully be going to school here soon. I have a son that's 7, and one of my memories of being a child is I know my father always participated in coaching, especially baseball, and again, that's one of my most fond memories, so I wanted to make sure I gave that to my son.
Congratulations, Trent, as the recipient of the Mike Lezak Award for Volunteer Service. Jack O'Donnell Award, Chad Borman. They say you can't come home again, but Chad Borman proved the old adage to be untrue.
I grew up just about 5 miles outside of town, over in Northwestern School District, which is where I graduated from high school. I ended up moving to Toledo and went to the university there and graduated with a degree in finance and lived in the Toledo area for about 7 years. Frankly, I made one of my most infamous decisions, which was to buy a business back here in Wooster and then inform my now wife, which was my fiance at the time, that, hey, I'm moving back to Wooster because I bought a business.
Not only did he devote himself to his new company, but he also took time to make a difference in his community. He was invited by Darren Campbell and John Fleming to join the Wooster Rotary Club.
And Rotary has been an instrumental part of the opportunities for us as a family to give back and do different things within our community. And I would say that was the springboard to be able to see what kind of a difference you can make, whether it's a large project or a small project.
He headed up the youth football program at Northwestern for 9 years and became involved with the Worcester Transit Authority and Red Cross, as well as Main Street Worcester.
So for 9 years, I worked with a lot of great people with the youth football program at Northwestern. And then kind of when I had the 2 girls, we decided maybe we might want to focus on something else, which now it's ballet and tennis, a little bit far removed from the football arena, but it's been a great time.
Chad has built a vibrant business in Wayne County, and he credits several people with having a significant impact on his professional and personal growth.
I would say there was 3 people that really had a major impact on my life. One was Dick Yoder. Dick gave me the opportunity to move back to Worcester and start a business and make connections and relationships with people that he had built for 35 plus years. And Roger Cook, I was able to buy his practice. Really, he kind of helped me go to the next level and look at things differently and be able to know when to give back and know how to do things and really open my eyes to service and what we should do in this community. And then probably last was Coach Van Wee. Coach and I were friends through Rotary. Coach really taught me a lot about working with people and just doing things that are right and organizing folks together for a good cause. And he was just a wonderful guy, and I miss him tremendously.
And Chad's family tradition of serving the community has certainly been passed down to his children.
My goal in anything that we do is setting a good example for my children and making sure that they understand the importance of giving back to their community. And frankly, I think if Sarah and I can do that, at the end of the day, we're able to say we've done a pretty decent job of passing on, that opportunity to give back.
There's no place like home, Chad. Congratulations on being selected as the recipient of the Jack O'Donnell Award.
Congratulations to all of our award winners so far, and we're going to keep moving forward. So at this time, please welcome Mr. Tom Queens on behalf of United States Representative Jim Renacci, State Representative Ron Amstutz, and State Senator Frank LaRose to the stage. They will be delivering proclamations to honor the accomplishments of the Business of the Year and our Wall of Fame recipients. Also following the video, Andrew Dix, publisher of the Daily Record, will be presenting our Business of the Year and Wall of Fame recipients with a press plate. This time, it is my pleasure to present our 2016 Business of the Year. Let's join in celebrating the growth and success of a locally owned and operated business.
The Worcester Area Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year, Pallotta Ford Lincoln. Pallotta Ford Lincoln has been an important part of the Worcester landscape since 1989, when Mike Pallotta, a car enthusiast, became a minority partner.
Dale Beckler came to this location in 1972 and built this dealership, and then in 1986 it was purchased by the Matthews family out of Marion, Ohio, and I was an employee of the Matthews family, and then in 1989 I had the opportunity to be a minority partner in the business, and back in 1998 then I purchased the dealership in its entirety from the Matthews family.
I've known Mike for a long time, and the dealership and the people that he hires out there are first class. They're second to none. And we've always had a great experience out there, and Mike does a wonderful job taking care of servicing our vehicles, whether it be personal or for business.
Yeah, the service people, they're very friendly and easy to get along with. They're not pushy and they're informative. He has a good core of employees, I'd say.
I'm thrilled to be congratulating Mike, his family, and his team at Pilata Ford for being recognized tonight. It's been a pleasure to do business with you throughout the years.
Pilata Ford Lincoln has shown its continued commitment to the community by its brilliant makeover that has transformed the licensee into a premier dealership in Northeast Ohio.
So the biggest investment really into this dealership over the years is really this most recent renovation. But since 1989, we've established a Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center. We've tripled the size of our collision center. And now with this renovation, this is the biggest piece we've had as a one-time investment. It was with the help of Campbell Construction, we were able to get pieces put together and added on to, again, a building that was built in 1972, but that got us to this point. So this time it made sense, and plus there are some really neat designs that Ford Motor Company assisted with that made us pull the trigger.
Since Mike took over more than 25 years ago, the dealership staff has doubled in size, and the growth shows no sign of slowing down.
The employees back in 1989, we had 35 employees. We're now right around 61 employees. So, you know, the growth of this business has been by the expertise of the team we built around us, and we know we're going to need to continue to grow.
Pilata employees are not only some of the top professionals in their field, but they are also engaged with and supportive of volunteer activities in the community.
It's great to see employees that take their time and volunteer, again, with committees or maybe just helping out with things, and we support that very heavily, and we always want to make sure that they're being involved, and if there's something they would like us to consider, I mean, I don't know that we ever tell them no.
We were introduced to Pilata Ford through Ron Holtman, who is their corporate attorney. And I think he told them about our capital campaign where we were raising funds to renovate the old Reed warehouse into the current Galt Liberty Center and to build a new shelter. And they stepped up to the plate with a major contribution and helped us accomplish that project, and they've never stopped since then.
The things we get involved with, it's not for marketing, it's because we believe in it. So throughout, we've been involved with everything, Junior Achievement, Boy Scouts, Every Woman's House, Viola Startzman, Wooster Chamber, Main Street Wooster, Wayne County Visitors Bureau, American Red Cross. So I'm sure I'm missing somebody's.
Not only is Pilata Ford a great business, but Pilata also supports many teams, many philanthropic endeavors throughout the community, and that is greatly appreciated.
Highly respected in the local community and throughout the Ford Motor Company, Mike is a member of the product committee.
For the last about 15 years, I've been involved with the product committee, and there's 19 of us in the United States and Canada. A salesman will ask me what's new or what did you talk about in Dearborn, and 3 years later I can tell him what it was.
Given the impressive history of the Ford Motor Company and the outstanding success of the Pilata Ford Lincoln dealership, Mike is quick to point out that he is committed for the long haul and excited about the future.
We use a tagline that we service all your automotive needs, so we're a one-stop dealership as far as sales, service, parts, collision center, quick lane, tires, detailing. So we handle that as a one-stop shop. But then most importantly is none of that can be achieved if you don't have customer satisfaction. And that's where it's very important to have, you know, the best team around you. And what we look forward to is being more involved with vocations where kids can have great opportunities in the automotive field. And the technology is changing so rapidly, and if you could fast forward to 2020, you'd be amazed of what's on the forefront.
Congratulations to Mike Pilata and the entire team at Pilata Ford. Thanks for being such a great community partner, and here's wishing you continued success.
On behalf of Mike Pilata Ford, we'd like to congratulate his employees. If it weren't for Mike, I don't know where we'd be.
Mike, I sincerely congratulate you, your family, and your team on winning this award. It is well deserved. Good luck in 2016.
Congratulations to you, Mike, and your dealership as being Business of the Year. This is a well-deserved and definitely earned honor, and I'm so glad I can share it with you.
Congratulations to Pilata Ford Lincoln, the Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year. Please welcome the owner of Pilata Ford Lincoln, Mike Pilata.
Wow, thank you. Good evening, and what a great evening. And first of all, congratulations to all of tonight's recipients. I'll tell you, that's great honors for everyone. And it's really special for me tonight because I'm surrounded by family, and the support they give me is unbelievable, especially my parents, who taught my brother Fred and I the value and the rewards of hard work, and that means a lot, and especially Duper for her unconditional support. It's interesting when Justin and Samara and Mark stopped by. It was a text like, we need to talk to you, and then you figure it's time for the checkbook. But it was really a surprise when they shared with me that the dealership was nominated for Business of the Year. So it was really an unbelievable day, and to say I was speechless, which doesn't happen very much, and really totally surprised because it is such an honor. You think of all the fantastic businesses that are here in the Wooster area, Wayne County, and they are just as deserving as we are. And it's just a great place to live. But when you think of all the businesses and the opportunities they give to many of the people here, there's really no reason to really go anywhere else. Big or small, it's just a great opportunity here for all the businesses, and you know, there's nothing like sharing a glass of wine with Joe Calabria as he reminisces over 92 years of his life in Wooster. So you know, you can't just do that anywhere. As mentioned in the video, the success would not be accomplished, and that takes a great team. So at this time, I would like to recognize our management team that's here this evening, because they are the true face of Pilata Ford. Will you please stand? You know who you are. Thank you. As I said, this is the face of Pilata Ford Lincoln, of Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center, of Auto Spa, and our Collision Center. So on behalf of the entire team of the dealership, I want to thank the Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce, its board, and the thousands of customers that give us the opportunity to serve them every day. Thank you.
Well, again, congratulations to you, Mike, and your entire team at Pilata Ford, and thank you for all the support that you've given to the community and to many that are here this evening. It is now time for the Community Wall of Fame induction. Since 1991, the Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce recognizes an individual who makes lasting contributions that have and will continue to make the Wooster area a better place to live and do business. They are individuals of the highest standard of character, professionalism, and unselfishly give back to the greater good. Let's now take a moment to honor the past Wall of Fame recipients.
Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce past Wall of Fame recipients: Stanley Galt, Raymond E. Dix, Ralph E. Fisher, Harold H. Friedlander, Joseph L. Retzler, Donald E. Noble, Stan Welty Jr., James O. Bassford, Clyde L. Webb, Kenneth Miller, Gene Baird, Al Van Wee, Samuel Shapiro, Kenneth G. Rohde, Ralph Jones, Julia Amster Fischelson, Don and Jean Bueller, Earl and Betty Hawkins, Dr. Viola Startzman, Major Mary West, Ron Holtman, Dr. Bernie Huff, Jerry Baker, Richard Seaman, Margot Braille.
And we are blessed to have a list of past award recipients of the Wall of Fame here with us tonight. So I'm going to announce them. I'd like them to stand, and we'll give them a round of applause. Major Mary West, Ron Holtman, Jerry Baker, Richard Seaman, and Margot Braille. If you could please stand, and let's give them a round of applause. You know, this year's Wall of Fame recipient, Mr. Mike Reardon, is one of the most genuine, down-to-earth, and caring individuals that you'll come to know. He and his wife, Stephanie, contribute to countless organizations and community initiatives, both monetarily and professionally. And while knowing Mike, he is always the first to give. He is also the last to seek the limelight. It goes without saying that Mike has made lasting contributions that make Wooster a better place. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to highlight some of the contributions of this year's Wall of Fame recipient, Mr. Mike Reardon.
The Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce Wall of Fame recipient, Mike Reardon. Mike Reardon was destined to become an entrepreneur. Growing up in a hardworking Irish household near Columbus, Mike is the middle child in a family of 5 siblings.
My father's family were off-the-boat Irishmen in the late 1800s. My mother grew up, her family, a large family in Jackson County, southeastern Ohio. There's no question that my father first instilled the idea of being in business, an entrepreneur, if you will. One thing that he said oftentimes to me and my siblings was that the way to reach the American dream is to own your own business. Sometimes he referred to it as owning your own peanut stand. He delighted in the people that he was able to help, loaning them money, whatever, who were entrepreneurial types.
He thought a lot about his father's advice when he headed off to college, but after 4 years of schooling, he wasn't sure what he wanted to do. So he explored the possibility of procuring a business of his own.
When I first broached it to my dad, he said, "What are you crazy? You got a job?" I think I made maybe $375 a month. It worked out fine. He ended up working with me, and he said, "Well, you started with something." What I still think is funny, I like telling this story, that he said, "You need to put a pro forma together and we'll look at the numbers and do this." I said, "What's a pro forma?"
He wound up purchasing an automatic car wash and was very successful with the endeavor.
I knew I didn't want to do that for very long. It was cold and wet and all that stuff that we all know well, so started looking around for something else to buy.
He and a friend who worked for a large accounting firm considered several opportunities, including a licorice company in Cincinnati and a titanium enterprise in Shreve.
And he is the one, those of you may recall when I told the great story about how the titanium industry started. He dug up a licorice company in Cincinnati and also United Titanium, which was in Shreve, at that time was located in Shreve. So anyway, the licorice company deal ended up not working, which I really wanted that one because I like licorice, and I figured if we had a bad year, at least I could eat the inventory. And so at any rate, we ended up in the titanium business.
Mike strongly believes that his success at United Titanium is a direct result of being a straight-up guy.
Whatever I have in the way of being straight up, as you say, comes from my parents. Honesty, integrity, those were the things that were most important to them. That's the way you lived your life.
Everyone in town, I think, knows Mike in a way. He's a very easygoing, comfortable kind of guy. but he is a true entrepreneur and is very savvy from a business standpoint. He has great instincts. He understands how to run a company and how a board should govern a company. He's a very interesting but also savvy business person, and that shows with the success of his company, United Titanium.
Despite his success in business, Mike says that the accomplishment of which he is most proud is his family. Wife Stephanie, their 2 daughters, and 4 grandchildren.
Hands down, my greatest accomplishment is my family. Nothing more important to me than my family. I had sense enough to ask Stephanie to marry me. She is rock solid. She's a Kentucky woman. She's tougher than double bubble. And everything that every guy should hope to have in his life.
Mike has made valuable contributions to the community in a variety of ways, including his role as a board member for several organizations, particularly his long association with the Western Reserve Group.
I'm not sure I'm the best board member they ever have, but I certainly feel like I was able to contribute to their success. It's a terrific company.
I know Mike as his involvement in the community activities. He's an excellent communicator. He's a true entrepreneur in every sense of the word. He and Stephanie, with their generosity, have supported many programs and projects and activities in the community, many of them without any notoriety or publicity.
When Mike arrived in Wayne County in 1974, he never expected to spend the rest of his life here. But fate has a way of intervening.
I think I thought I bought a small family business and then I would come up and get my arms around it and go back home, if you will, to Columbus. Here we are 40-some years later, and it is home. I wouldn't trade it for Columbus for anything.
Mike is also thankful for the relationships he has forged during the past 4 decades, with a particular admiration for Mr. Stanley Galt.
The second year that Stan Galt came back to Rubbermaid, I was invited to his office along with other small business people in town. Stan was talking about the community. He was involved leading, planning, and all that stuff. He taught me a good lesson there, and I never forgot it.
Mike, congratulations to you also. This is a very well-deserved award. You are an incredible member of this community, and we all appreciate everything that you've done here, not only in your business, but for the community as well.
You are most deserving of the recognition that goes with being nominated for this year's Wall of Fame Award. Congratulations, old buddy.
Mike Reardon, the Wooster Area Chamber of Commerce Wall of Fame.
Thank you. Welcome to the Mike and Mike Show. Congratulations to all the recipients tonight. It's delightful to be back up here after 10 long years away, to have all of you here. I want to thank Ron and Stan for the kind words and the nice introduction. That's, I'm not sure what I'm doing up here, but I certainly appreciate it very much. Justin and the Chamber Board, thank you. Thank you. It means a great deal to me to be up there with all these fine people. I'm not sure that I don't know, but I appreciate it. One of the one of the great things about being the honoree this year is that I will forever be next to Margot. My place is secure. So all you future Wall of Famers out there, not a chance. It's locked up. So it's a good deal for me. She got me on one side and Jerry on the other. What more can you ask for? 10 years ago, my company was honored as the Business of the Year. And when Mike Lezak came to tell me the news, I forget who else was with him, but in the conversation, one of the things that I asked him was, how long do I have to speak? Honest to God, he said, as I recall, 4 or 6 minutes. But, yeah, that'll work. And that's all. I didn't say anything. For those of you who might have missed that event, I used that opportunity to tell my story, where I came from, what my history is, how I got started in business, and the really interesting story of the company that I ended up buying, United Titanium, the role it played and the role that Wooster played in the development of the titanium industry in this country, a very strategic, important industry, billions and billions and billions of dollars that covers lots of things from weapons of war to all the satellites and the communications that go on in our country and around the world. Not that I had anything to do with it, but the industry got a foothold here, and it was established, and they developed directions. In as I recall, there were 4 little companies that ended up being offshoots of the business. So at any rate, you all know the rest of the story. It took me a while to tell that story. As a matter of fact, there's 2 sheets of paper up here now. I think I had 16 that night that were over here waiting to be folded over. A quick story, just a quick one. A few weeks ago, when Carrie Weller came out to the office to take some pictures and some videos, we got around, we were just talking about the last time I was up here. And I said, you know, I stretched my time out a little bit, and I think maybe 15 or 20 minutes. Carrie did one of these Stephanie things like this, you know, where the eyebrows are up like that. And she said, Mike, I had to change the tape in the machine. Like, what's that mean? She said, it only runs for 30 minutes. I said, no. She said, no, that's the truth. I guess I went over because my 46-minute performance that night was the source of some good-natured teasing from my friends, and even not, honorees up here over the years. They've had some things to say about me that were flattering. I really enjoyed them. And
how long? Raise your hands if you were here last year. All right. How long did he talk? All right. He has prepared a 2.5-hour summation in the history of segmentation within the property casualty insurance industry.
Jeff, before I begin, I wonder if I could reserve some time for Mike Reardon to come up and say a few words.
Hello, everyone. First off, I want to thank Dan Plumley for his invocation tonight. Then I would like to thank Mike Reardon for helping me with my speech tonight.
So relax, okay? It reminded me of the story of the speaker presenting to a very large audience, not unlike this one. He began his remarks rather concisely, but then continued to embellish on and on, until many of the members of the audience started to leave. There was but one member in the audience remaining in his seat. The speaker walked over to this person and said, "Thanks for hanging in there to hear all that I had to say." The individual responded, "Don't think a thing of it, Mr. Reardon." I'm the next speaker.
Okay, that felt good. And I just 1 minute about my mom and dad. I like seeing Mike's mom and dad up here with him, and my parents have been gone a long time. My dad he always referred to them as off-the-boat Irish, but he was the second youngest of 11 children, and they lived in the projects in Columbus, Ohio. I don't know how you possibly do that with 11 kids, but the Irish are pretty creative. And he had an 8th grade education and went into the banking business. As a kid, he swept floors, did whatever, and he ended up getting a job there. And over the years, that's the only place he ever worked. I don't know, 55 years or more. And he moved up the ladder, and he ended up being wherever you start. Eddie, where do you start? Teller, branch. And he ended up being a branch manager or something like that. And he absolutely loved. He talked all of his life about how much he liked loaning money and helping people. It was a very warm and fuzzy feeling for him. And I'm sure I took that with me throughout my life. I can still hear him saying those words. This thing about the peanut stand, he loved the entrepreneurs that he was dealing with, and the path to the American dream was, he felt, through being in business for yourself. So that I don't think I thought about it back then, but in fact, it did register with me. It did register with me, and I'm forever grateful for that. It's a trip that I've enjoyed very much. My mother was, believe it or not, the second youngest of 11 children. They were from Appalachia down in Jackson County, and they came to Columbus in wagons. I don't know, turn of the century or something, but they both, ironically, he came from Cork, County Cork, Ireland, and my mother came from Appalachia, Jackson County, and they said they were farmers, but they were just a pile of rocks, hills and rocks. When my brothers and I went back to Ireland, Kevin, you'll appreciate this. It's just rocks and nothing. So it's no wonder they wanted to come to the promised land. And my mom's side of the family, she had a couple relatives that were pretty successful. One of them ran the 2 biggest radio TV stations in the country, one in Los Angeles. Again, these are people with no education, well, maybe one of them had a high school education, but the other ones didn't. The other one was an aspiring politician who was at 32, was the youngest governor, or no, was the youngest mayor, excuse me, of Columbus, Ohio. And he was the youngest state auditor of Ohio for 8 years. And he was the longest sitting governor of Ohio for 16 years. So these are people that made the most of the American opportunities. Is this a great country or what? And I don't know what else to say about it. Last year when Margot had done her history and was talking about what do they call that? What do they call that, Margot? The Wooster Board of Trade. And had the big picture of all those people, the movers and shakers in that industry, names that are on streets now. Quinby, Larwill, Foss, Frick. I didn't know any of those people. I am old, but I didn't know any of those people. And what they had done from the seed money for the College of Wooster to bringing a railroad spur to town to doing things that not only me, but all you folks out there, you don't even think about doing something like that. But one of the things you learn, and nobody does it better than our community, is to just say yes to the request, whatever it is, whether they're asking you for money or time or effort. That's one of the things I always said about Stan Galt. He jumps in with both feet. He's not just a check writer. And that kind of thing sticks with you. He's an amazing individual. Not that there aren't plenty of amazing individuals out here, but he's one that plenty of you, I'm sure, got this. You get that call and said, "Hi, Mike, this is Gladys. Have you got a minute to talk to Mr. Galt?" You knew what was coming then. Be in my office in a half an hour. I got something for you to do. I love the guy. Anyway, back to Margot's thing. When she was talking about it, she was talking about how the Wooster Board of Trade evolved into the present-day Chamber of Commerce over a lot of years. And that in 1980, they formed an Economic Development Committee. Well, that's a big part of what we're doing here in Wooster, is trying to create jobs, and look how successful we've been this past year with Daisy and Gojo. Not many communities can point to that with the pride that we can. You'll be interested to know, I'm just absolutely certain you'll be interested to know that in, I think, my first stint in the Chamber of Commerce, I was on the Economic Development Committee. Margot said it was formed in 1980, and so I don't know. I think that's I filled somebody's term that had left the board first, and then I got to serve for the next 25 years. Anyway, I was on that Economic Development Committee. My only claim to fame, economic development-wise, was in I think it was 1986. I got a call at the office one day from, I don't know, somebody at the chamber asking me if I was free this afternoon. And I said, sure, what do you want? They said, well, they had a company that was coming to town that wanted to look around Wooster as a possible site for a new plant. Would I meet with them? So I said, sure. It was at the Ramada. So I went down there and I met a father and son, actually, Tom and Steve Wilmoth. From their original home was Wisconsin, and that's where their company got started. They lived in Texas now, but at any rate, they were here to look. They had, as I recall, 14 plants around the company, a large family business, large by my standards, and. So I didn't know. We didn't have Rod Kreider. We didn't have Jerry Baker out doing these projects. So after I talked to them, they were looking for 50 to 100 acres to build a plant. They wanted that much space, and so I don't think we had anything then. So I did the only sensible thing. I took them out to Venture Boulevard, and Dick, was your place up then? I don't know whether it was up anyway, but they wanted to buy 50 acres minimum, and I said, well, Dick will sell it to you. He doesn't care. And then I did. We drove around town. Dave Noble hadn't done the deal for that first farm out there where Daisy is now. So, I mean, every place we drove was farm country, and they'd say, like, well, what about this? What about this? I'd say, you just tell me what you want. We'll take care of it. Jerry will get it. And so they came back a couple different times, and as it turns out, I'm shortening this dumb story. Stephanie's giving me the eyeball. And they ended up buying, I think it was a little over 100 acres out on 250 West going towards Ashland. That company, Scott Industries, that family business, they built the plant in 1988. They came with 20 employees. Today they have 250 and I think 330,000 square feet. That has spawned this Wooster facility, Wayne County facility, has spawned 2 additional spin-offs that they do essentially the same thing, but they service Western Pennsylvania. They have over 1,000 employees now in those things. So let's hear it for Wooster on that one. How about that, folks? It was fun, and if I'd have had Jerry and Rod Kreider, we'd have had that deal done in a couple of months. Okay. I'm not going there. My boss is sitting over here. I've had a couple of people suggest to me that had I thought about maybe just standing up here saying thank you, and then sitting down. I said, absolutely not. So Stephanie, when she does this, that means time for me to stop. I do appreciate this award, and I don't know what to say, but thank you. I'm honored, proud, and flattered. Not sure what I'm doing up here, but I really do appreciate your faith in me, whatever. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I want to do one more thing. I want to do one more thing. This is an unscripted detour from Justin's program. Carrie Wellert, would you be kind enough to come up here? Mike, if you would, please. We're part of the Mike and Mike program. We're back and better than ever. Here comes this young lady. I don't know, I doubt that everybody here knows it, but Mike and I are the luckiest guys in Wooster, Ohio tonight because we are the last ones that will have benefited from Carrie's masterful skills as a videographer. This is her last night after 17 years of making everybody look good, feel good, sound good, and I just wanted to give her a big standing O before she hangs it up. She wants to tell you what she's going to be doing. She said she can't say anything, so I guess I'll say it for her. Say one thing. Tell me.
Okay. I just thank you guys, everyone, for letting me become part of your guys' lives. You all have amazing stories, and I sincerely thank you for letting me tell the story, and I know it'll continue on. And thank you, Chamber, for seeing our vision and all the different people that support it. Thank you.
Come on, everybody. Let's give her one.
Yes, and one other thing, it is Carrie's 30th birthday today, too. So, Carrie, happy birthday to you.
Thanks, Jim.
Is that it, Mike? Are you done?
Just one more minute. What'd you do with my page?
I took the page.
Oh.
Well,
Mikey, that sound familiar? My grandson, Mike, gave a speech last year at his school, Marvin Academy, and at the annual fundraising gala that they have, he was chosen from the student body to give a speech. And one of the geniuses that was up there speaking before him took his speech by mistake. So Mikey had to give his speech without the assistance of the written words. So he did a fabulous job. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to say. Mikey, good job, man. You know it's a tradition, I don't know, unwritten probably, that the business of the year usually gives everybody here a little gift representative of their country or whatever. So Mike, he said it was okay if I tell you. Before we adjourn to the bar, look on the bottom of your chair. There is a set of keys to a brand new Ford taped to the bottom of one of the chairs. Is he a great guy or what? Eddie's got money taped to the bottom of one of the chairs too. Is he a great banker or what? Thank you.
So, Mike, you kind of stole my thunder here, but we want to thank Carrie for her 17 years of dedication, and to let you all know that this is the first year that this program has been done exclusively local, with all local talent, and we're really, really proud of that. And so the transition has went over to a local company. It's the first time we've done that exclusively, and we're really, really proud of that. So for our closing remarks, please welcome Kevin O'Thompson, Senior Vice President and Regional President of PNC Bank. Kevin, thank you so much for your support and continued sponsorship of this event.
I want to thank Dick Seaman for the greatest line ever for the Wooster Chamber, when he said, "Mike, I'm the next speaker." So I want to thank everybody here. But in all sincerity is the fact that when I come here, it's a wonderful, wonderful evening. But Mike said something, and I want to congratulate all the winners of the award tonight. But Mike said something that just resonates with me, and I know resonates with everybody in this room. After everything he said one thing: my family is the most important thing to me. Singly the most important thing to me. And it's the one thing I know in this room, that it's the most important thing to everybody else in this room. And when I come here, and I've been coming to this community for over 20 years, and the last 10 have huge, a lot of friends in this room. But when I sit down and have dinner here, it's like sitting down with my family. And I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank my associates from PNC, but more importantly, this community for everything they do. Have a good evening. Thank you.
And I was tracing back, and I said, well, who was the first recipient? And they all looked around the room, and they said, you.
It sounds better when I use my own words. Yeah, but there's 800 people going to be listening to those words.
I'm a bad boy.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
What's he doing here?
Oh!
Killing me, man. You're killing me. You know what the problem is? They're going to show all the outtakes. That's the problem. Sorry, I thought, you got green people behind the camera here.
And bar none is the best around. Congratulations to you, Mike, and Pallotta Ford Link. And why is it whenever you're talking in front of a camera?
About Trent and about how you fit into this community.
No, I think we're done.
Hopefully it's bringing out, I can't. I'm all in. Did you get that?
Graduated there with a degree in finance. It's my damn phone. And when you don't seek it, it's my phone on the damn steps. You have to like me, and we have to like you. Now, there's not a lot of people we run into that we don't like, or excuse me, I don't like that. Can I back up? Slow down, keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
All right.
How did you know that?
Back it up.
That's about all I can tell about Mike. I can't tell you everything, but I can tell you that much.
You're shocking.
I'm full of
You're full of
electric.
Anybody who knows me, you'll know, well, let me start over.
And as I had said earlier, it's home. No, you don't like that, because you're going to cut it.
I'm not saying you're squirrely or anything like that.
I'm squirrely. Dang proud. From our efforts in perpetuity. How's that as a word?
Thank you, everyone, and good night. Thank you.